Good day all. It is 6 p.m. on the 31st of the 3rd, 2025, which is the eve of All Fool's Day. I'm Bazzzilll, broadcasting truth and therapy here on my channel, the Self-Preservation Society on Bitchute. Here I am using the talking stick, and if you're listening anywhere else, then there's a link to that channel where all my work is underneath in the description box. I've already recorded this once. Well, I didn't record it because my settings on the OBS reset and bloody mic wasn't working. But I've done that at 3:33. Oh dear. I don't know why they keep resetting, but there you go. But anyway, a few things I want to talk about today. My ramblings, if they resonate, please share them on your social media platforms, whatever they are, on in your emails, wherever. But I was having my feet done this morning at Shelley's reflexology, and she did tell me I drifted off to sleep. I don't know if I was asleep or not, but I had this experience, whether it was a dream, whether it was, something else. I see Putin. Then I see Trump. Then I see my mother, my late mother, wrapping herself up in a red blanket with a bit of white in it on the sofa, hiding herself. So I'm saying to you, on this All Fool's Day's Eve, expect or don't be surprised to hear some news about Putin and maybe Trump. And I'm not talking about what's being reported today, because I looked at that on AOL. Trump threatening more sanctions, this, that, and the other. I'm not talking about that. Didn't resonate with my experience this morning at all. But don't be surprised if something happens tomorrow, All Fool's Day. And you know what All Fool's Day is, don't you? I'll tell you. Don't believe me. Go and look it up for yourself. They changed the calendars. And April the 1st was recognised years ago as being the new year. Just had the spring equinox, and that could have been, to some the new year. But in Bibles from 1775, I've seen there used to be 13 months in a year. And so they changed everything. So you're not acting naturally within natural cycles. They do stuff like that. And whatever. However you see it, whether you agree with what I'm saying to you or not, by the by, no skin off my nose. If you know better without doing any research, then you're working off your mind and your ego, and whatever. So it is of little consequence to me as to what you say in regard to that. But anyway, don't be surprised if tomorrow. I think when I look at things and see them and how they're ratcheting up, this, that, and the other, how everything's ratcheting up, Trump bombing Yemen and this, that, and the other, and Israel bombing Palestine and this, that, and the other. You look at that today, or I look at it today, you may not, and see how it relates to the past. And there are quite a lot of similarities at different aspects of what we're told is our past and the fall of civilizations and land grabs, and this, that, and the other, and all those different things. What it tells me is same shit, different day. we're in infinite cycles. And, you know, you can see the similarities between what's happening today and what happened in yesteryear, this, that, you know, and we just allow things to continue and in the way that they do. And it's all about what it boils down to at the end is your loose energy. That's what it boils down to. Grabbing your loose energy. You're not aware you're giving it off because you're standing in your power, or so you think. You know, I'm right, this, that, and the other, and not in my backyard, all the NIMBYs. Let me tell you something. I do not associate myself with anybody from any country, anywhere in the world, that thinks their country has a divine right, and the people within it, the natives within it, have a divine right over others from another country. Flags are the dusters given to us by our masters to polish their mansions. Thomas Sheridan, the most powerful quote I've heard from a living, breathing man in my lifetime. And, you know, these people, yeah, I've just seen something now, a meme about these immigrants coming, so-called immigrants coming into England, and the strain that it might put on the NHS. If you're worried about the strain on the NHS, then do something about it. Take responsibility for your own health and well-being, and don't give that power away to doctors, this, that, and the other. Simple solution. Simple solution. Take responsibility for yourself. And don't give it away to governments, to the medical establishment, to the police, to the army, any other organisation that is there to control you. Take responsibility for the self. Change your diet. Change your diet. I've made a conscious decision to cut down on my bread and pasta and anything with grain in. So, you know, when me and Shelley went out today, I went into Morrison's and brought 2 different cuts of steak and stuff like that. We brought eggs while we was out from outside somebody's door. Thoroughly recommend you do that. Yes, I was wrong to go into Morrison's. I didn't have a lot of money on me. Otherwise, I would have gone into the butchers in Folkestone on Sandgate Road. If you've never been in there, do some nice stuff. Do some nice stuff. Go into your independent shops and buy your food. It's convenient, isn't it, to go into Morrison's or, you know, Asda or whatever. It's convenient. My mum, who passed away on the 8th of December 2023, I can remember as a young child going shopping with her, and I'm talking about back in the 60s, when my own particular town, Dover, had some sort of high street. Look at it now. Sure yours is the same. I'm not responsible for that, because I shop locally. I don't shop on Amazon. If you shop on Amazon, do not complain about the high street being run down, because you're part of the problem. They've never had a penny of my money, and they never will. Hopefully. If I can avoid that, I will. But I remember as a young kid, we'd get into Dover Market Square, and there'd be Price Right over on the right. There'd be the covered market, which they'd done away with, and built the Discovery Centre there. It was the hub of Dover. Dover Market Square was always buzzing. On a Saturday, they had an outdoor market there. And then you walk up from there, there'd be Lipton's, there'd be the Co-op, there would be a small Tesco's there, right by St Mary's Church, and loads of other. And my mum would walk in the shops on the way up, pricing everything up. She'd make a mental note of everything that she needed and what the prices were in each shop. And when we got to the last shop going up, she started shopping there and then got what was cheaper in the shops going back down. And then sometimes we'd get the bus home from the market square, sometimes we'd walk home. My mother had to do that because my father kept her short. And she done it brilliantly. Looking back, she done it brilliantly. But it's all too convenient today, isn't it? Have your shopping delivered, sit on your fat arse and get your processed foods delivered, and you get fatter and fatter. If you think I'm attacking you, I'm not attacking you personally. I'm attacking your lifestyle, the way you think, the way you do things. Falling in line with the indoctrination and the regimentation of those that control you. That's what I'm attacking. Not attacking you, I'm attacking your mindset and how you've allowed it to be controlled by those outside of you. That's what I'm attacking. But hey ho, if the cap fits, wear it. Wear the bloody cap. All you NIMBYs, not in my backyard. Not in my backyard. Don't matter who you are, what country you're in. You don't want people from other parts of the world coming in. You don't mind going to Spain for your holidays, or America, for a holiday, or the Caribbean, this, that and the other. You don't mind going encroaching on their land and whatever. And your forefathers done it to rape and pillage, and we reap what we sow. And we don't change it. We don't change it. We don't see what we've done, what our forefathers have done, and seek to change it. We just perpetuate the system. Not me, but people in general. Because they hate their fellow human being. I love mankind. It's a fundamental difference. Fundamental difference between the two. I don't care who you are. What I care about, if your words, deeds and actions cause harm, loss or injury to another, that's all I care about. And if they do, I'll speak about it. I'll speak about it. I don't care who you are. It's interesting. So many people will not see what's in front of them, even when they're told the truth. Keir Starmer. In my last upload, I said, because I've done a meme, Trump equals terror, Carney equals carnage, and Starmer equals subjugation. Starmer has gone on record. You can look it up. Go and listen to it. Where he, when asked, said his allegiance is with Davros before Britain. I spoke recently about Liz Truss. I think she was speaking on the Steve Bannon show. I might be wrong there, forgive me if I am. Who was a Prime Minister of Britain for only a short period of time. She got booted out, sacked, this, that and the other. And she said on the Steve Bannon show, I as Prime Minister can get sacked. But the Governor of the Bank of England, a position once held by Mark Carney, cannot. And now he's Prime Minister of Canada. Dominic Cummings, who I believe was very closely aligned with Boris Johnson's premiership, spoke about the cabinet meetings. He said they're just a charade. He said the cabinet office run things. And the cabinet office is made up of people that have gone to Eton and Harrow and Oxford and Cambridge and places like that to serve. They come from the families that control us. They might not be near the top, but they all come from the families, and they know what their job is to perpetuate the system that enslaves us. The Cabinet Office run it. The Civil Service run it. Everything else is just for show, for you to look upon and point the finger at Keir Starmer or David Cameron or whoever. Number of people putting posts up about Margaret Thatcher's speeches, this, that and the other. She wasn't any fucking different at all. Some of you might have gained from her, brought your council house at a discount. Whoopie-doo. That was social housing that our grandparents benefited from for going off into the Second World War. Now it's been sold down the river. Your kids try to get social housing, irrespective of the immigrants coming in. Irrespective of that. They're not building social housing anymore. They're ripping up farmlands and building houses for the private sector to rent or to buy. They're not building social housing anymore because you don't matter. You don't count. We've just and continue to experience the biggest transfer of wealth from the poor to the rich, possibly in human history, although it's just an illusion, because money only has the power that you give it. It only has the power that you give it. And don't we give it some? It's not naturally occurring, it's man-made, and we give it some power. Look at this next meme, Tony Benn. Tony Benn, a hero of mine, because Anthony Wedgwood Benn was born with a silver spoon in his mouth, a hereditary title, and he fought to get an act of parliament to free him of that hereditary title so he could stand as a commoner to represent the people. He was MP for Chesterfield for many, many years. His son is nothing like his father. I can't believe he come out of his ball bag. Tony Benn was a man of outstanding integrity and merit. I'll never forget watching him during the first Gulf War on Newsnight, on the panel there, while they were discussing the Gulf War, and then the BBC was showing, while they were talking, live bombings. Never forget that. And he said, "Stop that, I don't want to watch that. People are being killed." And, he ranted and raved and said, "If you don't turn it off, I should be leaving. People are being killed under those bombs." A man of outstanding integrity. And in much the same way as Dennis Skinner is and Jeremy Corbyn. Jeremy Corbyn, when he got his hands dirty, is because he was working in his allotment, just like me and you, growing his own food, this, that and the other. Say what you like about Corbyn, dig up all the shit that the media tell you about him. You don't know him. You only know what you're told to think. Same with Tony Benn and people like them. He had it all and gave it up so he could stand for the people. A bit like Ian R. Crane. How many of you remember Ian R. Crane? He was an oil company executive, making loads and loads of money. And then we've realised the real lies and see something was wrong. Give it all up, ended up living in a mobile home caravan and become one of the most important people of the last 20 or 30 years, certainly in Britain, with regard to truth. That's when it really counts. When you can give everything up that you have in order to stand in truth, with integrity. How many of us are prepared to do that? I who have nothing, but I have everything, because my integrity is without question. I say that with all humility. I, 41 years ago, on the 17th of July, set out on a journey, I didn't know it at the time, with the passing of my maternal grandfather. And during that time, I've developed abilities outside the five senses. I've become aware of those abilities outside the five senses. I've healing, psychic, clairvoyance, this, that, and the other. I'm also have the abilities of transfiguration. I have the abilities of materialisation. I've run circles, run churches, I've run powwows, this, that, and the other, in these last 41 years. And never, ever, in all that time, have I done anything to personally profit or gain at the expense of another. On this day, 177 years ago, I'm just putting them up now, modern day spiritualism started with the Fox sisters and their father at Hydesville, New York, where rappings were heard. So much has happened since then. So much has happened since then with spiritualism. It has been investigated by real good men of their day. Oliver Lodge, Sir William Crookes, and many Arthur Conan Doyle, many others, investigated this thing where people said you could communicate with those that have from other realities that have passed. You look up Sir William Crookes, type into your search engine Sir William Crookes and Katie King. Bill Donahue done at hiddenmeanings.com, done a brilliant presentation called The Seance in White. And it was the first thing I ever see of Bill Donahue's, and Bill Donahue has given me so much. Go and investigate him yourself. But he done a brilliant presentation of Sir William Crookes and the medium Florrie Cook and the materialisation of Katie King. Go and study it yourself. One of the most outstanding happenings in the annals of spiritualism. Many others. Jack Webber. Jack Webber was a Welsh medium, physical medium, having a seance at his house one night. He was roped into the chair, tied into the chair, this, that and the other, sat in a cabinet. The sitters were all around. When the seance was over, they turned on the lights, opened the cabinet. Jack Webber wasn't there. The ropes were still there, exactly as they'd been tied by one of the sitters, witnessed by the others. The ropes were still there, but Jack Webber wasn't. No visible means of his escape. The doors all had chairs, people sitting on chairs next to him. The window was blacked out, this, that and the other, with blackout material. They all panicked. They opened up doors, went looking around, and eventually they found him out the back, a little bit delirious, on the ground. Been dematerialised, and then he'd materialised, just like, as I said earlier, I have had materialisations through my mediumship. Physical mediums can do that. The Whippy Man can do something akin to that of the Lakota. It's all there. although spiritualism as we know it today started 177 years ago on the 31st of March, it was there before with the indigenous peoples, not just on the North American continent, but throughout the world. Throughout the world. Nothing new under the sun, as Jordan Maxwell would say. But in my time of being a part of that, I have never, ever charged anybody to personally profit or gain. Never set a fee. And I am humbly proud of myself for that. Because I see so many people today, you know, sitting in a circle, developing their mediumship, becoming psychic or clairvoyant, this, that, then going out and making money off people. And they call that spiritual. They call it spiritual. When you talk about the spirit people, you have to understand and comprehend that demons are spirit too. And you have the potential as a spiritual being to either consciously be demonic or to be controlled to be demonic. Make no mistake. And the only thing that you can argue and defend yourself against what I've just said is through your ego or your mind. You're not aware in the way that I've come to awareness and continue to come to awareness. That's why I don't claim privilege as a white man or as a English man. One of the most amazing pieces of work I listened to on the internet was many years ago when I started to consciously awaken. The Fraud of English History by Michael O'Bernicia. Forever be grateful for that. England used to be called Albion, for instance. And, you know, now we rarely use the term England. It's the UK or Great Britain, this, that and the other. See how things change to suit a narrative, this, that and the other. And it happens throughout history. It happens throughout history. While many of you, will fight for your flag of your country, whatever the country is, I'm not that small-minded. I'm not that narrow-minded. I'm fighting for the world in what I do here on my channel, and I'm fighting for mankind. I'm not fighting for human beings because, you know, it's pointless. They're the original. Human beings are the original AI. Mankind is the essence of my physical body. And human beings have been created from mankind. How far back in history, I don't know. You know, we're told that humans have only been on the planet, well, the church will tell you, for 6,000 years. The ancient Sumerian texts will tell you 250,000 years. And then the London Hammer will tell you anywhere up to 400 million years. If you've never heard of the London Hammer, go and look it up. It was a hammer found in a coal seam in America when the miners were digging out the coal. And coal, we're told, was formed between 360 and 300 million years ago. And yet, here we are today, or back in the 60s I think it was, and they're digging this coal seam out, and they found this hammer, they called it the London Hammer, looking Russia. The Toulouse Princess, I think it's called. Again, in a coal seam, they're digging out a coal seam, and they found a sarcophagus. And they dug it out, took the lid off, and there was a fully preserved woman there in pink liquid. Don't believe me? Go and look these things up for yourself. Go and look them up for yourself and find out for yourself. Turn off your televisions and start to think for yourself. Start to think and then think for yourself. Because tomorrow, people like me will be called fools. Because when they change the calendar and brought the new year to the 1st of January, anybody that still celebrated the new year on the 1st of April was called April Fools, to mock them, to ridicule them. And you look at that throughout history, you'll see a really interesting broadcast the other day. I think it was from my lunch break channel. I'm not sure, but I cannot recommend my lunch break channel to you enough. It's on Rumble, also on YouTube, I suppose, but try not to use YouTube unless you really have to. He's on Rumble, and him along with John Levi, Jonlevi, are two go-to channels for talking about Tartaria and this and the other. But he's speaking about the asylums and how these asylums all sprung up at a certain period of history. Before that, they used to take the truth tellers, call them witches, and then put them on a ducking stool. If they died, then they was innocent. Fucking brilliant, isn't it? Fucking brilliant. Then later on, they created all these asylums when they done another reset. And those asylums were filled with the truth tellers of the day. Just like the Chinese do these re-education programs for the citizens who try to tell the truth or seek the truth. But where I am in Dover, in the not too distant past, village called Eastry, just outside Sandwich, had a nut house. Canterbury had two, St Augustine's and Chartham. And they was all over the place. All over the place. And they were full of truth tellers of the day. What's changed? What's changed? I know I've changed. I've changed. When I look at myself from those humble beginnings, walking up the street with my mum, getting a main shop, going on all the different shops, to what I am today. What I see today, what I think today, what I'm aware of today. What a journey. What a journey. And in spite of all the negative, traumatic stuff I've been through in my life, I wouldn't change it for everything. Because I had to experience that. There was reasons to experience everything I've experienced in order that I could come to knowing myself, deal with my shadows, and turn my darkness into light. Because that's what I do. I am the light, I am the way, I am Lucifer. And I will fight the darkness, Satan. They're not the same thing. They're the complete opposites. Just the same as a human being and a man are not the same thing. They could be. All you got to do is become aware. Become aware. I control my shadows. They don't control me. I've turned my darkness into light. And that's what you must do. Otherwise, you will forever be subject to the edicts and the control of your masters in this false matrix. Matrix. The etymology of the word means womb, uterus, origin of source. You can create and bring forth new life, whether you're male or female. You can create and bring forth new life for the self. You have masculine and female tendencies, awarenesses. What you do with them is entirely up to you. I know what I've done with them. Brought them into unison, understood them both in their separate forms, and seek to allow myself to bring forth new realities that I control and not are controlled for me. But you do what you want. You do what you want. I'll continue to do what I think is the right thing to do, what I know is the right thing to do, and I'll continue to do it for the right reasons. Not to appear better than anybody else, but to empower, enlighten, and enable others to be better than who they're told they are. That's why I do what I do. That's why I'm on this channel. That's why I go into the silence. That's why I meditate. That's why I connect with all that was, is, and will be. When I'm walking through the woods, standing out my backyard, whatever. In order that I can come to new awarenesses, share it here with you, to empower, enlighten, and enable you to your true divinity. So you can become aware of your true worth and what that worth is and how it is being controlled and manipulated to harness your energy, frequency and vibration, your loosh, to perpetuate the system that enslaves you. If you want to change, you've got to be the change. You've got to be prepared to change. You've got to want to change, know how to change. And the only way you'll do that is stand in front of your mirror. Look deep within the reflection of your eyes, deep into the darkest places within your soul, and bring a light to chase those shadows away. Judge yourself. Nobody can judge you like you can judge yourself. I am living proof of that. I've been doing that for years. You do it. Plenty of other people are judge you, and quite rightly so. If your words, deeds and actions are causing harm, loss or injury to another, you should be judged by the values of universal and natural law. You should be judged. If you have no sense of morality or integrity as you go about your daily life, you should be judged. Those that control and manipulate you should be judged, and they should be brought to trial, to task. They should answer for what they have done. Not just today, not just over the last 5 years, but throughout time immemorial. They should be judged. And when you have dealt with your own shadows and demons, you can quite rightly judge them. And I will. I will. I don't care who I offend. I will judge those, just like Jesus judged and called out the hypocrites, just like he judged and called out the money lenders, this, that, and the other. You can do that. That's what he told you. Don't wait for him to come back. Do what he done. And do it with the integrity, with the morality, and with the care and compassion that he done it. Don't follow him. All those like him, walk with them. And let them walk with you, side by side. Not one in the front and one in the back. That's the proper understanding of onward Christian soldiers, to my mind, marching on to war against those that would enslave us. because we are the light. As he said, we are the way. Lucifer, light and way. Remember what I said at the beginning. All Fool's Day tomorrow. Don't be surprised if you hear something major with regard to Putin and or Trump. I hope my mother and what she showed me today, covering herself under that blanket, hiding away from it, is not troubling her in the way that I see it. She should be free of all this now. She has cut the mortal cord. She suffered enough when she was here. I don't want her to have to suffer and hide away anymore, nor do I want you to suffer and hide away anymore. Rise like lions after slumber. Percy Bysshe Shelley. Stand in truth, stand in love, stand in awareness against all that enslaves you. We are the world. We are the people. We are the ones that can make a brighter day. So let's start giving to ourselves and to the rest of mankind. And if you need to be human about it, be human about it. But it's mankind that's important. And Inimaka, Mother Earth. If this message resonates, then share the message. It's important you don't share me. When you listen to me and what I bring to you, it's the message you should focus on and not me. Cannot express that enough. Cannot express that to you enough. I don't want you to honour me in any way. I want you to honour the message that I share. Because that's what's important. And you can only honour it if it resonates with you. And if you're still shopping on Amazon, or you still got a television and you're watching sports, or you're still voting for people to control you, then I'm probably not the channel for you. Palamia, thank you. In Lakesh, in you I see an enemy. Mitakui o Yasin. We are all related, we are all relatives. And I tell you, continue to tell you, we're all connected.